Hey everybody, Samwise here, and today's video is our rune of the month, which this month is a rune called Mannaz, and it looks like this. Mannaz. So, yeah, interesting themes. Has a lot to do with interconnectivity and humanity as a human. And I like this a lot as like a follow-up to the last video on runes, which each month I'm pulling a rune from my collection of runes to see which one to talk about. And the last video was about Fehu, which is wealth and like different ways of thinking about wealth and like the energy of meeting need. And this one is about interconnectivity, so I like that a lot because it's kind of speaking to this goal that I have about rethinking our economic systems and creating these networks of support that's lift up folks who are doing really vital work in our communities and interconnecting that energy of money to the need to be able to do this kind of work. So it reminds me a lot of like the structure of Patreon or the structure of other like resource sharing networks that are doing some inspiring work right now. So so this one, it's an interesting one. Speaks to a very human quality, which depending on who you ask, has associations with like intelligence, like what makes us human, which, we could go on and on about that. Intelligent, like divine potential, like, many different wisdom traditions have different steps or guidelines or ways of being that could potentially lead to like being the most divine human that we can. So like different traditions call that enlightenment. I ran across in my research like the idea of being Christ-like, which I think I need to do a little more research on that, but the idea of being like that consciousness is of being a human that has delved into the mysteries of the world and become more interconnected and aware of what it means to be like an interconnected human in this world. So this rune also has associations with like awareness, the mind, memory, and also sustainability. So like, what does it mean to have that interconnectivity and be remembering that we are like part of the earth and that our earth is our family and our kin, and remembering our rules within that fabric of interconnectivity, and remembering that we as humans have that potential to be shapers or helpers of that energy, which I think, in many ways we've abused as humans, especially white humans, in the context of empire and capitalism and white supremacy. So what does it mean to remember that interconnectivity, that collectivity in a good way? So that's what kind of this rune is speaking to. And it also it's associated with the legend of Mimirs Well, which I'm reading some about Norse mythology right now, which is a journey. Some of it's enjoyable, some of it's just like, oh, the patriarchy. But yeah, I'm interested in that myth because it so it's about a wisdom keeper, like somebody who in the cosmology of Northern European indigeneity, the world and the other worlds, like different realms associated with like other deities or different translations, but like elves and like other beings, and also like underworlds, like death realms. There's different death realms. All in all of those realms take the form of a tree. And so what I'm learning about Mimirs Well is there's a wisdom keeper named Mimir who guards a well, and this well holds all memory, past and future, of wisdom, collectivity, the collective subconscious and wisdom of human beings. And there's a myth about like Odin, who I'm just getting to know as a deity, who I'm like, I don't know if I endorse this deity. But there's a myth about him seeking that wisdom as like kind of like a birthing into his deityness. And he goes to this well and asks Mimir to drink from this well and gain this knowledge. And Mimir says no. And then Odin says, well, what if I like make a sacrifice? And then Mimir says, okay, I'll take your eye. And I just think that's, so he does. He just, like then now, Odin is like the one-eyed god. Also that he, so much Odin, but whatever. I think that imagery is interesting, around like there being an initiation of suffering into wisdom. And a couple years ago, I, like, not knowing that myth, like, wrote a story. I was, like, doing a children's outdoor school camp. I wrote a story to entertain these kids on the bus about the owl witch, and the owl witch falls through a gap in the elder tree after having not made the proper gift to the fairies, and falls into this underworld and goes into this well. And is asked to look into the well, because she's also seeking like healing knowledge. In the myth that I wrote, there was a pandemic before the pandemic happened, and like nobody could solve, and not even the elders knew what happened. So the elders sent the owl witch to the plants, to the fairy realm, and so she's at this well underground, and the deities, the kind of in that one, those just unseen voices were like, look into this well and see something beautiful, and in the well you look in, and it was just utter destruction, just a scene of just utter loss. And in that scene of utter loss, there is a chamomile flower pushing up through the cracks, and she's like, that is beautiful. And so she reaches for the chamomile flower, falls through the well, comes out the other side, and then is blind, like missing sight, and like that one eye changes color in one eye, and so she sees the spirit realm with that eye, and then sees our realm in the other eye. So that was something that kind of just came to me when I was trying to entertain children. So I think it's an interesting echo with this. And who knows, maybe it's, this energy of Mannaz at work, this collectivity, this interconnectivity that can share these stories and these wisdoms across space and time, even when much wisdom has been lost. So, yeah, what else? This has like a reverse meaning. So Merkstav is what we say with runes. So meaning that like there's this energy imbalance, and then there's this energy out of balance, which is bigotry, elitism, intellectual arrogance, and like one of the sources I said collective suicide, but what I'm interpreting that to mean is like a death ethic, like kind of like how our culture is not aligned with life. Our culture being the dominant culture of whiteness, and that, the death ethic of like many systems that are more aligned with death than they are with life and rebirth. For example, like how our culture treats houseless folk, that they would rather just die, like the powers that be. But thankfully we have this energy of collectivity that says nah, in many ways. And so this rune is also associated with like, again, like meeting need with gift. So like, the bonds of interconnectivity and relationship that come from like naming and understanding a need, and then meeting that need with a gift of abundance from another being. And so what I like about that is like that the image kind of speaks to that. Like if you think about like, okay, like this one, that's, you know, the energy of meeting, that's one energy, here's another energy, and they're meeting and exchanging information and needs. So this rune is also associated with anarcho-syndicalism, which is, if you don't know, a way of imagining like human behavior and interaction that is without hierarchy, and kind of speaks to this like natural pairing of need with available energy or available gift. In a way without coercion. And so it kind of speaks to this kind of organic arising of groups or social structures to meet need, and to meet that need with gift. And to celebrate that gift. So, yeah, and so another thing is about that gift and the celebration of that gift is the rune, there's theories, you know, who knows, but there's theories that, you know, the one part of that is a rune in of itself that kind of looks like a P, kind of intentionally splitting that in half. That is a rune that I'm gonna pronounce it Wunjo, and it means joy or fellowship. So I kind of like that as like what happens when we connect our fellowship and our joy, interconnectivity and sustainability and divine human potential. So. And remembering our role as a co-creator with nature, like we are here to be caretakers and balancers, both within the realm of humanness and the more than humanness realm. So that's a little about Mannaz or Mannaz. I don't know how to say it correctly, so that's how I'm going to say it. And yeah, thanks for watching. I want to thank, speaking of collectivity and making things happen with collectivity, I really want to thank all of my patrons, because this would not be possible without the interconnectivity of them sharing their abundance and sharing their joy with me, and that joy through the energy of money is supporting my well-being and my ability to make this this content and do this research. So really big thank yous to Kathleen Moritz, Marguerite Wilson, Tatiana Kogan, Heather Enders, Jax Walter, Melissa Moldovan, Serafina Cohen, Felix Pop, Emily Rose Harger, Senura Dewa, Anna Fratellillo, Natalia Carballo, Anna Weaker and Lowe, Ellie Minkin, Deborah Spangler, S.M. Cranston, Monica Lacerdo, Karen Ram, Gloria Park, Adrian Wilson, Rose Rothfeder, Susan Raridon, Gaia Essensten, Bonnie Rose Weaver, Brittany Hall, and Seed Meyer-Minkin. So big thanks to everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and comment and like and subscribe. This is on YouTube as well as on my Patreon, so that helps us get these messages far and wide. So hope you have a lovely time, day, whatever, night. And yeah, let me know how you plan to cultivate a little more interconnectivity. All right, bye for now.